year and a half later, we got our shit together. I'm here with my buddy Rich Politano from, he's out there in Florida. Where are you at in Florida?
Just outside the Tampa area, east of Tampa.
Okay, awesome, awesome. We're gonna tell you guys a little bit about each of us, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started with Rich. So, Rich, you know, I know we've known each other for the last couple of years. It's an awesome journey, just how we built our relationship. In fact, now we seem to be phone buddies all the time. We are always constantly, you know, making calls during the week. We give ourselves check-ins on text. You know, Rich has been definitely a huge backbone into my my own personal progress, especially this last year. I had a shoulder reconstruction surgery, and you know, during that journey, Rich has been by my side and helped just mentorship. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Rich right now, because I want you to really understand what Rich's background is and who he is as a person, a father, and what he did in his past. And his journey is incredible. So, Rich, go ahead.
Well, I got introduced into bodybuilding at about 14 years old from my dad. Competed by the time I was 16. I hadn't reached the puberty level yet to get the growth and the results. And then I met Bob Druskin at a competition, teenage competition. And at 16, Bob started to mentor me. And by the time I was 18, 19 years old, I was winning all the teenage shows all over Long Island, tri-state area. I had went into collegiate nationals, just turning 20, took second to Todd King, who is Jeff King's brother. Jeff King was in 1983 Mr. America, Mr. Universe, another Gruskin guy like myself, as Todd was. And my career just skyrocketed from there, competing on an international stage. And then we had the heart-to-heart with Bob. And he said, look, you know, you win the universe, you win the America. What's next? You got a 5-year run ahead of you. What do you do after that? You a trainer in the gym all your life? What are you going to do with your life? And it hit home. So I started taking the police tests, got called, and I was a few weeks out from the Mr. America. And Bob said, hey, let's say you win your class. Let's say you win your overall. What are you going to do with it? You're going to let a one moment in time celebration dictate your life? Or are you going to take a job that's got a 20-year career, a pension? And I backed out. I didn't do the Mr. America. That was back in 1990. I have some regrets of not winning the title, but I have no regrets of the career choice, because I was able to retire. I was eligible at 44. I got out at 46 and got back into bodybuilding, coaching, and training people. And then, you know, the YouTube channel, which I was told to do years and years ago, but I wasn't that technology guy and had to do it until I was shown. And now my channel is exploding with 168,000 subscribers, close to almost 11 million channel views within the last 3 years. It's been a great journey. I've done probably 5 or 6 podcasts last year. I was invited to, met some really great people. I met you through YouTube. My friend Russell Acord from Expedition Bigfoot reached out to me through YouTube, and we became great friends. And it's been a great journey. You know, I wrote a book 3 years ago, Untold Secrets of Bodybuilding, and gave all the insights that I was gifted through Bob Druskin and my things that I've seen over the years. You know, I had my setbacks. You know, I was morbid obese at one time. Doctor said, hey, man, you're morbid obese. You're 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the grave. You need to do something. And I did it. I changed my life, got on a, you know, good, healthy keto plan, carnivore plan, got off of diabetes medication, and it's a lifestyle. And that's what I try to teach everybody from the over 40. Actually, it's for everybody, but it's more of the over 40 guys that this affects, because at the age 40, it seems like it's a magic number that the body starts to go through its changes. And I call it menopause. Just like a woman goes through menopause, men do also. And I try to teach them how to age gracefully. You know, I just turned 60, and I don't feel it. I don't sure as hell don't act 60. Everyone that knows me personally,
No,
I
you
act
don't.
like I'm a friggin' kid. You know, I don't act 60. I don't look 60 either. And that's because of genetics, healthy living, training every day, and just, you know, good food and living the lifestyle, not just preaching it. You know, it's not do as I say, don't do as I do, or however that phrase does. I lead by example, you know,
That's
and that's how
huge.
I try to do it.
That's a huge point, and going all the way back to your coach Bob, like having influential coaches during some really influential years where you're developing as a man was super important. I'm sure all those lessons that he gave you they keep living on. I know the coaches that I've had in the past, they live on not only through me, my children, and now the kids that I coach. I'll go into me in about a second, but your story is very interesting, so I want to keep tapping into that.
Mhm.
Yeah, you said you were morbidly overweight, obese. That's what the
Mhm.
doctor's term was, and that's a big. I've had that conversation, and it's a big bomb.
It's an
To
eye opener, man. It's
oh,
honestly, you go from being a champion bodybuilder to a doctor telling you you're morbid obese. And this was at like age 46, maybe 47, 48. And I'm like, morbid obese? Are you kidding me? I mean, I was really taken back by it. And that's when I realized all the medication they had me on for diabetes wasn't a fix. It was a band-aid to allow me to continue the lifestyle I was living.
that's
There
messed
you
up.
go, championship. The medications were just a band-aid to allow me to continue living a shitty lifestyle of drinking beers and eating all the garbage food, ordering the left side of the menu twice at the drive-throughs, and it wasn't a fix. The fix was me changing and not drinking, although I do have an occasional vodka tonic every now and then. I got a little bit of a heavy pour once in a while. I enjoy vodka tonic, but getting back to eating real food, and that's the name of the game, and that is the biggest secret there is to understanding the lifestyle change. It's food, real food.
So when you going into an autoimmune disease like diabetes, and man, we go on and on with each one. They're there because of a reason, and the
Mhm.
reason is there's a root cause to that. And
Sure.
that's one thing that when we go to a doctor, they're really good at giving out prescriptions or telling you, you're going to need another procedure. But, to get to the root cause, you need to change some lifestyle stuff. And you went back to
Absolutely.
food. Yeah, you went back to food, and it's such an important source. And, you know, um, and reversing diabetes is an incredible feat, like
It's
incredible
not an
feat.
it's yes, it is, and it's not an easy thing to do, Joe. You just can't stop taking the medication. You've
Right.
gotta wean yourself off of the medication, and I started taking natural forms of diabetic medications. One of them was berberine. Berberine is a natural metformin, and I was on 2,000 milligrams of metformin a day on top of 2 other medications. So, I would use every 3 months and take a certain amount of of the metformin out of the equation, but I added a berberine capsule every meal.
As a
And then
replacement.
I'd go another, but I was still on my other medication because you just can't tackle them all at once. You gotta get off of one, and then you go and
Oh,
you're attacking the other, and it's all
for
diet
sure.
that's allowing your body to change, that's letting you get off of this medication. So it wasn't an overnight success story. It's not. And I had my doctor monitor me through it. But within 2 years, I was off of all the medication, you know, injectable insulin twice a day, Trulicity once a week. Once I got off of the metformin after the first year, and it took me a full year, I brought my A1C down from just about 14 down to
Wow,
5.7.
that was really high.
It was very high. I told you I
So
was on insulin twice a day, injectable insulin twice a day on top of all that metformin.
one thing I'm going to interject. Everybody at home watching, everybody with these issues. Like, I know you're at home, you're tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. I know you're like, hey man, let's see what, you know, Coach P has, and you know, and whatever you want to call me, Joe Nitro, Coach Conti, Joe, however you want to address me, my nuggets. But let me tell you this, obviously something what Rich has done, you know, we're not advising you to do on your own. You probably need to be coached through this. You know, hopefully there's somebody, you know, who can wean you along with this. Keep
My doctor was on board with this.
It's awesome.
You have to have the doctor on board because they're going to pull your blood work.
You know what? And let me go back to this, because, you know, I have so much knowledge on doctors. I've been a medical wreck. In fact, I shouldn't be in this position at all. In fact, I've had my doctor tell me, and I'll get into it once I start doing an intro on myself. You know, I was 35 years old. I go in for a visit after breaking both my arms in a weird accident, and my doctor runs the blood work, sees where I'm at. My mother's in the office with me. She's like, Mr. Conti, if you continue to live like this, you are going to die. And I was scared shitless. And that was the first time I was above 300 pounds. So, you know, going back where you said, like, you know, male menopause, you know, the issue that we have in this country is this, and this is my opinion. You know, as you know, we're kids, we're going to do what our parents kind of structure us, right, with our meals and how we eat and how we choose to use our nutrition. And sometimes we can go off and do whatever. But as adults, you know, we're grown, right? And now we have the option not only to eat whatever we want, we can drink, we can choose to do the extra, like go to the gym and start taking care of your health. So you could be an optimal athlete like Coach P in front of me. And, you know, I was a very athletic guy who played 3 sports in high school, played some very little bit of football at a JC before I was a father of 2, and I had to move on to that chapter quickly. But, you know, looking at me, wow, like athletic, physique, all of that. And due to the foods, the medications, so somebody like me, I'm going to go into me. You know, I was born and raised in Daly City. I have great parents, great family. I've been raised in a very strong Italian culture, and it was a positive thing growing up. You know, I just had a fixating thing about sports. Sports got me into wanting to be a better athlete. So that made me want to kind of like play around with weights at 13, 14 years old, so I can, you know, knock the baseball a little further. And then I really started getting into the weightlifting scene. I started to really admire, you know, the guys, the golden era guys of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Franco Colombo, Lou Ferrigno, and all, you know, all those beasts back then. There's so many great ones. And so I just had this thing, and I, you know, as a young kid, always battled body dysmorphia. That's another real topic that I have on, and so I think a lot of people battle with that. But you know, as a young kid, I had some serious issues, and so you know, I just wasn't a normal kid. I don't think I was a normal kid out of the womb. Actually, I was, you know, born a month late. I was a big kid, almost 10 pounds. They had to put my legs into braces, so my feet were like this, like Forrest Gump. And I had a double hernia. Things were all kind of real. I was always in and out of the doctors, either asthma, allergies, you name it. I was always a sick kid, labeled a sick kid. And when you label somebody sick all the time, you're going to just be sick, right? And so I kind of fought that, got myself into sports, grew out of my asthma. I was taking shots and going into the doctor every week with inhalers and medication. And then, you know, 7th grade, I had a serious injury, and I didn't know what it was. I was playing baseball. Boom, we go out for Mother's Day, and my back's killing me. My mom and dad take me to the hospital. They end up putting me in the hospital for 3 weeks. They put me in traction. There was something wrong with my back. They didn't have any idea what was going on with, you know, MRIs weren't existent there. So they thought it was a disc. fast forward, I want to make this short. I've had 17 surgeries in my life, right? I've had 8 back surgeries. I'm fusing 2 levels on my back and 3 levels in my neck. Quick summary here. I mean, you could check this out. This is absolutely insane. My sister put this up for me, and this is all of the stuff that's been taken out of me. This is a remote control that actually controls a unit that's implanted in my body right now. And so, you know, I've been through a lot, and there's way more equipment in me right now. I got way more metal. I got a card when I go into the airport for security, because I will, you know, trigger all the you know, all the stuff and
TSA hates you.
So, you know, dealing with all these injuries was rough, but you know, my back surgeries were coming right around that epidemic where it was, you know, opioids they were pushing them like candy. And this was back in about 99, 2000, early 2000s, boom, getting strips for everything you got. That stuff just ruined my system. You know, my insides were killing me. My testosterone dropped. When I went to the doctor, when my doctor told me I was dying, my testosterone at that time was 110, right?
It's about that.
110, like you're flatlined. So they immediately put me on some testosterone replacement, and they were, you know, that was a crazy journey. We'll be talking about all these little things on our podcast weekly, but we can't cover it all. So that was the first time I was over 300. Then I was able to lose that weight, manage that weight to get off, start a new business with liquid nitro energy drink. That was an awesome experience until I start chasing the success of, you know, business and everything else, and I start neglecting my health. What I'm saying is, you neglect your health, you're going to be in this situation. We are going to constantly battle, you know, issues with our whole body, and it starts from our gut. And you know, bottom line, I got all the way up the second time to 330 pounds. I was depressed. I had anxiety. It was a very just a sad situation. I got a little picture of me. I put this in my garage gym, and that's a picture of me right there. You can see just kind of like, you know, just whatever.
Yeah. My heaviest was about 350, and that was
Yeah, I mean,
less than 3.5 years ago.
And what it does to how we're barely surviving. Like, and I wear an Apple Watch, and it was telling me all the red flags that was going on. I was scared. I thought I was possibly going to die. So, you know, that's when I started my journey in 2021. And you know, I said, hey, you know what, here we go. You know, I'm going to go ahead and lose this weight. But not only do I need to lose this weight, I need to change a lot of things, mind, body, and soul. So I chose to really go a little deeper than just, you know, get on a meal plan and a really good workout plan. I think you and I both know we can do that.
Sure.
But when you try to change the mindset, it's a different animal. And I feel like I need to change the gut. So I really had to watch what I was putting in my body. And go ahead.
What I was going to say is, what happens is the body ages, but not so much the mind.
Right.
We always go back to, you can train for 15 years and then life gets in the way, and you know, another 15 years goes by that you didn't do anything. But the minute you decide to get back into the gym, the first thing that comes into your head is, I used to do that. I bet I can still do it again. You know, now there's 30 years difference. You used to do that. And until you retrain your mind to be in present day, not in the past, what you used to do, that's where everyone, I say age 40 and up, maybe 45 and up, that's where everyone gets hurt. And guys like our age, when we get hurt, it's not 6 days on the couch with an ice pack or a heating pad. It's 6 weeks, 6 months, sometimes a year of recovery from a stupid injury because you listened to your conscience of what I used to do. not what you're capable. And that's the biggest word, capability. What am I capable at the current age? Unless you're the guy who's been in the gym consistently for 25 or 30 years with no breaks and is able to do that.
Those are the shining unicorn, Michael Hearns. These are the guys that are.
That's 1%. That's right. That's 1% of the population. That's it.
What a guy. And I'm not saying that I'm, hey, he had it easy. That's a tough grind to do that your entire life. I wish I would have been that disciplined and committed. All I know is I needed to start over. Back when the first time I was 300 pounds and I lost the weight and I was training with my sons, I went into the gym and I did want to be that old Joe who was that, 20-year-old yoke kid lifting all the weights. And I did. I was benching 315, like for 12 reps at least. I remember I did 225 for 26 times or so. I was training with both my sons, but I was really my physique didn't change that much. I didn't look much different. I didn't feel great. My central nervous system was always taxed out. I couldn't sustain that type of lifting and lifestyle. I kept getting hurt. So this last time and my final chance, as I looked at it, when I built my garage gym with my 2 kids, I had to go into it and change my entire style of training. And this is where we're going to go on and talk week in and week out about how we did this, how you at home can train, how you can start your journey and do it in a positive way where, you can stay in the gym. And simple advice. Chase the feels, don't chase the numbers, meaning get a weight that you can handle, right? And you're very good about saying this. And you know what? And now just, do the rep the proper way and, engage time under tension. And Rich, it was so humbling when I first started. And thank God I had my garage gym because I couldn't barely curl with my elbows, the pain that I was having all through my body. 2.5 pounds, 2.5 pounds. And now people see me in the gym and I'm one of those people that people come up to me every time, like, I heard you're the guy. Can you help me with advice? Can you help me train? I really want to get where you're at. And I'm humbled all the time. And I'm almost a little bit embarrassed or ashamed because it's like, I let myself get that way. But let me tell you, if I can do it, if Rich can do it, we can show you at home on how this is going to get done. And this is why we created this podcast, Unhinged, and we finally got off our asses to do it.
One of the biggest negativities I see in the health and fitness industry is because you're able to Google anything or look up on YouTube anything, everybody wants to be an influencer, especially these young, take the certification to be a trainer online, having no experience. You don't even look like you work out. You become the trainer because you're computer certified and you're on the internet filming videos, talking like you're a 7-time Mr. Universe winner, and yet you don't even look the part. That's so much misinformation. You're book smart based on the test material you had to study for the course you had to pay for. Not that those courses aren't good.
No, the important you're learning.
When you have time in the game and those certifications, that's a nice marriage. Not when you're 21 and you barely learned how to wipe your own ass with your opposite hand because you're so good at your positive hand. You're not. You don't have the knowledge. You're book knowledge. You don't have time in the game.
100%. You need to get it done. I'm not going to hire a plumber who just basically got us all his certs, but never wrenched, on a sink or a toilet. Like, I want to, if I'm going to, put my time and energy into somebody, who did it? Who's got it done? Who was able to go through the journey? And I have a story to say right now. Is like, I went to Costco, always at Costco, always filling my basket with my goods. And while I'm in there, there was a trainer at one of the gyms that I go to, and he moved to another gym, and we haven't seen each other for a while. And he's like, "Hey, how you doing, Joe? How's everything going?" He's probably like maybe early 30s, maybe mid 30s. I'm like, "Everything's great." And he's like, "Are you still training people?" I'm like, "Yeah, I train some people. Not a lot, but the people that want help, I'm here for them. And I'm also doing another gig." He's like, "What's your other gig?" I'm like, "Well, I'm a strength and conditioning coach at 𝐂𝐨𝐻𝐡 College for the baseball team, and I've got X amount of athletes, which I got like well over 50 something athletes." And and he told me, and he's like, "That is awesome. How did you ever get a job like that? This is something I've been wanting to do my whole life. I've been getting, like working towards getting all my certs and whatever. How'd you do it?" And I was almost gonna, like, I have sometimes no filter Rich. And I was like,
you're no different than me, pal.
"I know, well, that's why we're on this. That's why we're on this show together. That's why we're on this show together, man."
I'm as fucking raw as they come.
Oh, I love it. And hey, man, I'll stun people. People are like, "What the fuck did Conti say? He said that?" I go, "Yeah, I said this." So I said this to him. I go, and I might, this is gonna go out to the world, right? And I told him, I go, "Listen." And for the people at home, the guy, my supervisor who hired me or whatever, I think they could attest to this. But what I told him was this. I said, "Listen, they hired me because of the journey that I've been on, the results that I've gotten for myself, and this is the hard work. And I present it to these athletes, and I think they can relate to that versus a coach who may have been certified but now is not practicing what they kind of like. How are you going to be a role model for these kids if you don't get after it yourself?"
Let me stop you right there for a second.
Good.
Exactly what you're talking about. I'm not mentioning any names. It just came up on my social media today. Somebody I met and I had done a podcast for, and we talked about nutrition. He knew all my background. He's working with a trainer, and he's posting down 4% body fat. And there's a picture with him and the trainer. This trainer doesn't even look like he trains. He's skinny, doesn't even look like he trains. He's young. And I'm thinking, I could only imagine how much money you're paying, because it's one of those brand gyms. Crunch. Did I say Crunch? I didn't say Crunch.
Yeah.
It's it's one of those brand gyms where everyone's 21 years old with a certification and they think they know everything. I can only imagine how much this person is paying this trainer with only certifications, and he don't even look like a fucking swimmer. Pardon the French. He don't even look like a swimmer.
We got
and
4 more.
Paying this person. Anybody could lose 4% body fat. That's not a lot of body fat. And I told him, "I'll help you. Contact me." I've yet to hear from him.
Well, what? People got to want to help themselves, and that's the hardest thing about coaching, clients or individuals. Like, I really like it. It's hard. I'm so motivated to be the best me every day. And I just sometimes I'm like, I want to help you, but please don't call me "Please, Joe, I need your help. I got a family vacation in 2 months and I need to get."
I don't chase people.
I'm like, "No, I don't. I can't help you on your family vacation. I will help you I will provide you a blueprint for a lifestyle. I will get you, and you don't have to live your life like me. You don't have to be extreme like me. I'm doing this, and the people at home know my life
based on your needs. It's based on your needs.
My life went a little different. I had to put all my goals and my dreams on hold, right? I said I left college ball to go raise my sons. I love that. I love being a dad. I've been a dad since 1991, done nothing of it. But when you give, and I'm able to just fight and claw and scratch, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm in this position. I'm here now at 55. I couldn't do it when I was 25. I couldn't do it at 35 or 45. So I'm going to do the best I can with what I have. And so I don't expect anybody at home to be as extreme as me, but I can help you or Rich can help you just get a lifestyle that you can be healthy, have a better relationship with your husband, your wife, have a better, you feel better about going into work. You know, when you start having this structure and discipline and you achieve the daily goals, you bring that to a lifestyle, you start elevating who you are. Warning, you will have a lot of your so-called friends drop off because that's just part of this game. But what you will see is a guy like, you know, Coach P in front of me be introduced in my life. And these are guys, you know, like, hey, I love all my friends out there, all you guys, man. Much love. You know who I am for you. But, you know, there's going to be some other people that are going to come into your life. And sometimes they're going to be the ones that are going to appreciate what you're doing and try to build you up even more than you want to be. And those are the people you need to stick to.
Everybody's discipline is going to be different. Look, I'm retired. I've been retired from my real job for 14 years. I can go to bed at midnight and sleep till noon the next day. I'm in bed by 9, maybe 9:30, maybe 10 if I took a good nap in the day. And I'm at the gym every single morning at 4 a.m. That's what I like to do. I function better in the gym at 4 in the morning. And there are other people in the gym at 4 in the morning that got to train before they go to work. And I keep to myself. I have the people I know, I associate with, you know, hey, how are you? Good morning. But I'm not the guy to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, let me show you. My picture's on the wall. They're up there. Everyone knows I got a YouTube channel. They all know it. I wear the shirts in the gym besides my grunt style stuff. But I'm not the guy to come and tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, let me show you. It's not my job.
No.
Ask me a question and I'll sit down with you for an hour and I will give you my time to help you get in the right direction. I've worked with a lot of people and have helped tons of people, but I've never gone to them. They've always come to me. And for me, it's, you know, you need money to live and money to survive, but I don't believe in ripping these people off with some of the prices that these trainers got. It's ludicrous, especially when you're 21 years old and you got 7 different certifications and you think you should be paid based on the amount of time you sat in front of a computer.
Well, I mean,
that's the case. I got 45 years in this game. I should be getting $20,000 for 16 weeks.
I mean, there's people that are out there getting it, but like I said, I'm more about like building people up and paying it forward. I think this is a great platform for people to, you know, get a lot of information for free, get their motivation, get their sources of information. We're going to constantly come in with a new topic. We're just going to bullshit here, just be boys and have fun with this this journey. But hey, this is a great first episode just to like get it out there. Obviously, we got just a little background about Coach P and myself, and you can see all the knowledge that we bring, and we're excited to create more content for you guys at home. And you know, please email us any questions you have, comment on the YouTube. Thank you to
this is going to be posted on your Facebook page, my Facebook page. Send us a message through Messenger.
Yes.
You know, if you know us personally, you got our phone number, you have our contact information, reach out to us. Our YouTube channels, you know, reach out to us.
And let us know whether you want that personal question to be addressed by you at home or not. Like we can make it anonymous, or we could just say, hey, you know what? Tony G asked a question, and this is Tony's question, and this is what we can help. And so, you know, going forward, this is what it's all going to be about. And so, Rich with his plugs, I know he probably wants to give a shout out to Grunt Style.
Yep, I'm a Grunt Style affiliate. There's links in my Facebook page for Grunt Style. I'm an Essential Provisions, which is the meals ready to eat, all organic, healthy stuff. I'm an ambassador for them. There's links in my Facebook page from for that. You know, go to my Facebook, follow me, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. One of my videos just hit over 10 million views. Go check them out. There's so much to learn, and you're getting it for free.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm saying, like, grab this knowledge while you can. And, I know both of our stories is crazy. And like I just
we're
told you,
barely
very
scratching the
personal.
surface.
What was
We're
that?
barely scratching the surface. You kidding me?
Barely scratching the surface. And it's like, when you really get down to like, going and breaking down just what we just told you, man, what a journey it is and how tough it is. And we can teach you, how to rehab from, your injuries and how to really bring your health back to life.
There's so much good information coming up in the future episodes, and it's going to come out once a week. We're going to put these out. Joe's a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. Once a week is, believe it or not, it's a lot to keep up with.
Yes,
because we have to make time in our day to sit down based on his time zone, my time zone, and then editing and getting it out within the next 24 hours to kind of keep on some kind of steady basis.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work, but I enjoy doing it.
It's going to be great. And then, obviously, so we'll wrap it up. We're gonna do this for a while. We have so much information to share with you guys, just both of us. Obviously, Rich has a big network. I have a big network. We can bring on so many interesting guests, anywhere from, we're talking major athletes, bodybuilders, people in movies, singers, whatever. Like you know what it's all about. You followed Joe Nitro for all these last decade or so. You know what we bring. We're just so grateful for you guys. And peace out, man. This has been a good one. And until next time.
I'll see you guys. Peace out. Joe, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bud.